story was produced by Candice Talberg and John Stewart. It contains confronting language.
Tyler, the Creator, is an up-and-coming American rap star.
This nigga Jasmine trying to get grown. About 5'7" of his bitches in my bedroom.
In June last year, he toured Australia. And feminist campaigner Talitha protested against his use of language, which included rape and violence against women. She then received a flood of abuse from the rapper's fans on Twitter.
I had people saying that I needed to be raped, that it's feminists like us that deserve to be raped.
Last month, Caitlin Roper, a feminist campaigner based in Perth, shared a petition against Ched Evans, a Welsh footballer who was convicted of rape, urging soccer teams not to rehire him. She was also inundated with Twitter abuse and threats of rape.
So it had my picture and what looked like my Twitter handle alongside my name, and everything else was the same, except he had included a graphic list of sex acts that I performed for men online.
Both women received threats which appeared to come from within Australia and overseas. They want the police to track down the Twitter users responsible for the abuse around the world. The West Australian police are currently investigating Ms. Roper's complaint, but she's not happy with their advice.
So the expectation was that women and me, that we should all further restrict our freedoms and close down our accounts, just cease from engaging in social media. And that was the expectation, that rather than focusing on the perpetrators of the threats, the people making the threats and engaging in the abusive behaviour, that the victims, we should modify our behaviour. I was then handed cyber safety brochures and told that I had to delete my Twitter account, that I'm fueling this.
Social media commentator Stilgarian says that women using the internet experience more online abuse than men. However, he says that many users are still coming to terms with the reality of the net.
It's simply that in the past, people were in communities that were mostly made up of people like them or people they grew up with. If there was a violent part of town or a red light district or whatever it might be, and you didn't want to go there or you didn't want to know about it, well, you just didn't go there. The problem is now on the internet, all of that is right next to you as well. And people are shocked by this. They're suddenly discovering that there are people not like them. They have different attitudes to women, different attitudes to acceptable language, to religion, to class, to sporting teams, to clothing, as we've seen in the media lately, everything.
New South Wales police say they cannot pursue all reports of online abuse and have to prioritise the cases.
Well, we put a risk assessment across things that come to us in every case, and that goes especially for social media, because people can say a lot of nasty things on social media very quickly, but with no real intention or no capacity to commit the offence. So we would look at their capacity to commit the offence if they're in the same town or even country, and as in many cases we've seen, a lot of threats come to us from overseas. So there's really no capacity for that person to carry out a dangerous act after they've made a threat.
The feminist campaigners have refused to be silenced or shut down their social media accounts, and say they'll continue to challenge online sexism. Journalism lecturer Jenna says the overseas threats are harmful.
So I guess one of the things that concerns me when those threats are being made overseas is I don't imagine anyone is going to arrive in my house from New Jersey overnight and actually, slice my face up or rape me or murder me. But it's it's terrifying. And when you read message after message like that, it's, it starts to hurt you. It's the psychological impacts. It's not just the physical impacts. And I just think there needs to be a bit more... a tougher stance by police, and also a tougher stance by the social media platforms themselves.
Twitter Australia said in a statement that when content is reported which violates Twitter rules, the offending accounts are suspended. John Stewart, Lateline.